Has the threat of the group waned, particularly since the death of Osama bin Laden? Are they still relevant?
Yes, they are very much still relevant, and their capabilities and their meaning had been eroded even before bin Laden's killing in 2011. But, let's not forget, these are the architects of that terrible attack on US soil. Within the jihadi community, that still lingers, that still has resonance. And particularly with Ayman al-Zawahiri, who was just killed over the weekend, he was a significant player in the theory of jihad. In fact, it's one of the ways that we were able to differentiate al-Qaeda, which we called old school, versus, say, the Islamic State. That was the argument about whether you attack in your global jihad the near enemy or the far enemy. Do you attack the Muslim governments right in front of you that are being propped up by the Americans, or do you strike the far enemy, America itself, that ultimately is propping up all these Muslim governments? And this man, Zawahiri, was one of the key proponents of the theory that you attack the far enemy. So his sights have always been set on attacking us in our homelands where we live. So taking him out of the equation may have some impact upon that debate within the jihadi milieu.
How significant is this for the United States? They were still able to carry out this huge operation without boots on the ground. How big of a win is it for the US?
Well, it's a significant win because, as we saw in the wake of the chaotic departure from Afghanistan, the Americans had promised to maintain an over-the-horizon strike capability. This proves that they've done that. They clearly still have assets in Afghanistan. And remember, these operations don't happen overnight. As President Joe Biden said, they identified Zawahiri earlier in the year, and they took their time to confirm their intel and reconfirm their intel, develop their strike plan, double-check their strike plan, and then have the patience to wait for the right moment. That tells you the Americans still have significant assets in the country. And of course, as others have said, it also reflects upon the relationship between al-Qaeda and the Taliban. They've always had a close working relationship from before September 11 in 2001. So the fact that Zawahiri was in Afghanistan perhaps is less striking given the long-standing relationship, but the fact that he had the confidence to be in Kabul itself, that tells me that he felt quite daring. But I think there's a broader question here too, that if the Taliban are still working so comfortably with al-Qaeda, then what does that tell us about the nations, or particularly one nation, Pakistan, who sponsors the Taliban? Remember, bin Laden was killed in Pakistan. Now his replacement has been killed in a country that is controlled by a regime that Pakistan sponsors. So what did Pakistan know about Zawahiri's presence, and when did they know it?
Very good questions. Michael Ware, you're the former bureau chief of Time magazine in the Middle East. You made an award-winning film about al-Qaeda. You know the group, and we really appreciate your analysis. Michael Ware, thank you for joining us this morning.